evening, everyone. How is my audio? How is my video? I'm still checking the audio and the video before we are going to start our discussion about our exciting topic for tonight. Kindly comment on the live chat box. How is my audio? Malinaw po ba yung video po natin? Kanina pa ako nagtitesting, nag-audio and video check, 1 hour ahead. Dahil nga last night, sobrang naging intermittent yung internet connectivity natin. But I'm hoping na ngayon ay medyo maging mas malinaw na tayo. Ayan. Thank you for waiting patiently. I couldn't make it at around 9 p.m. because our family had our church duties earlier kanina, kaya hindi ko magawang mag-live ng 9. Kaya siguro madalas na laging ganitong oras na tayo magkakasama-samang mag-aaral. Ayan, thank you po. I think medyo mas malinaw naman na. So once again, good evening to all of you, my dear learners. Hello, kumusta ang araw ninyo? Here in Bulacan, it's Bulacan holiday dito lang sa Bulacan dahil Malolos Congress celebration. Kumusta sa lugar ninyo? Anong mga pinagkaabalahan ninyo? Ano yung mga naging dahilan? Bakit naging busy kayo throughout the day? Ayan, ako marami, naglaba, at maraming inasikaso. Kayo, ano yung pinagkabalahan ninyo? Sige, pakilagay sa ating live chat box sa ibaba. Tonight, my dear learners, we are going to discuss about this topic on the screen, if I was versus if I were. Alin na ba ang tama sa dalawa? Isa lang ba dyan ang tama, if I was or if I were lang? O pareho ba silang tama? Depende sa gamit. Malalaman natin yan maya-maya lamang, kaya stay in tune. Kaya naman po, hinihiling ko na i-share ang link ng live video natin tonight para mas maraming maabot ang atin pong pagtuturo. Gaya na promise sa inyo kagabi, it is the continuation of the topic we had yesterday evening, which was about the be verbs was and where. Was and were. At ito nga, was and where pa rin, pero may karugtong na yung phrase. Phrase na siya, if I was and if I were. Sounds really interesting kasi pwedeng nakakalito bakit was or bakit were. I ang subject. I ang subject, which is a pronoun. Alright? Mamaya sasagutin po natin yan. Pero dahil kayo po ay matyagang hintay sa akin, babatiin ko muna ang lahat ng matyagang naghintay. Kay Teacher Aubrey, unahin natin si Yen Yurel, watching from Giginto. Hello! Si Dong Tangloy. Yan, naghihintay. Mega shoutout natin siya. Hello, John. Naghihintay rin si Cristela. Si Jessica. Ay, thank you. Thank you. Si Cristela, salamat. Ayan, last night din medyo disaster sa akin dahil nga sobrang internet connection. At sa lahat, mega shoutout po sa inyo. Hindi ko na kayo maiisa-isa pa. At salamat dahil matyagan niyo po akong hinintay. At ngayong gabi, ito na nga ang ating tatalakayin. Huwag kalimutan na kung may matututunan kayo, I'm pretty sure marami kayong matututunan from our live video tonight. Huwag kalimutan na mag-thumbs up. Yes, paki-like po ang video na ito. Paki-like, paki-share din, mag-comment kayo sa ating live chat box or sa ating comment section after the live streaming of this video. And of course, i-click nyo ang subscribe button para makapag-comment po kayo sa live chat box natin at maging bahagi ng ating YouTube online community of learners. And of course, huwag nyo rin kalimutan na i-click ang notification bell para lagi po kayong updated every time na mayroon tayong upcoming live videos like this. So, ayan na nga, umpisahan na natin ang pag-aaral natin. If I was versus if I were. We are going to focus. Aalamin natin, ano ba ang tama? If I was or if I were? Ano sa palagay ninyo ang tama? If I was ba or if I were? Ano kayang tama? O pareho kaya silang tama? Saan ninyo karaniwang naririnig ang phrases na if I was and if I were? Kagabi, nagbabasa ako. It's a real thing that happened. Nagbabasa ako ng isang blog. Yes, blog, hindi video blog talaga siya, blog site. Nagbabasa ako Ang ganda nung binabasa ko. So, kinote ko, eto yung binabasa ko, isi-share ko sa inyo. Sabi niya, it's not perfect and it's very difficult to keep it balanced every day. Ang ganda nung binabasa kong vlog kagabi about taking a person for granted. Ewan ko, naligaw lang ako sa blog nung vlogger na yon. Ang gaganda ng articles niya. Mahilig kasi ako magbasa sa internet ng blogs. Ano po? English blog siya. Sabi niya, it's not perfect. It's very difficult to keep it balanced every day. But it's wonderful and the best you can experience. Because if it were easy, ayun yung sabi, no? Because if it were easy, it wouldn't be worth it. O sa simpleng paliwanag, yung mga bagay daw na sobrang dali nating nakukuha, di ba? Karaniwan, lahat ng sobrang daling nakukuha, madali ring nawawala. Pero kapag ang isang bagay ay pinaghihirapan natin, mas pinapahalagahan natin, ano? Ipa-flash ko siya sa screen para mabasa po ninyo. Tingnan po ninyo Anong gusto kong ipaunawa sa inyo? Tingnan po natin ito. I'll just flash it on screen para po mabasa ninyo from the blog I read yesterday evening. Ang ganda ng blog. Pansinin ninyo dyan, yun pong phrase na, because if it were easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Ika-capitalize ko para po mas makita ninyo. Hindi ba sa previous lesson natin, ang sinabi ko sa inyo, kapag ang subject natin ay it, which is singular, kapag past tense, ang gagamitin dapat ay was, hindi were. Pero bakit dito, sa phrase na ito na nabasa ko kagabi, bakit it were ang ginamit? Sabi, it's not perfect and it's very difficult to keep it balanced every day. But it's wonderful and the best you can experience because if it were easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Teacher Aubrey, hindi ba mali yung grammar niyan? Hindi po ba ungrammatical? Di ba po dapat if it was easy? Kasi po it ang subject. Yan ang sasagutin ko mamaya at masasagot ang mga tanong sa isip nyo kung bakit it were ang ginamit at hindi it was. At bakit ginagamit ang if I was at bakit din ginagamit ang if I were. Ngayon, magtungo na nga tayo rito. Take note of that. Mamaya, sasagutin natin. Masasagot sa isip nyo, bakit sila ginagamit. So, alamin muna natin yung was and where. Natalakay natin ito kagabi. Kung hindi nyo napanood yung video, ilalagay ko yung link dyan sa itaas or sa description box sa ibaba. Ito yung previous video natin. Ang was and where, alam natin na sila po ay tinatawag natin be verbs or verbs that state the being of the subject in a sentence. Okay? Tinutukoy niya yung kalagayan nung pinag-uusapan sa pangungusap. At alam natin, gaya ng itinuro ko sa inyo, na ang be verb na was at where, was and were, ay ginagamit for past tense. O kapag ang kilos sa pangungusap ay nangyari o natapos na sa nakaraan. At kapag naman was, ginagamit siya kapag po ang pinag-uusapan ay singular na noun o kaya naman ay pronoun. At ang were naman po, alam natin na ginagamit yan kapag po ang pinag-uusapan ay plural na noun or pronoun o marami. Okay? Anong halimbawa natin? I was going to the market. Isa lang siya. I was going to the market. Ang rule natin sa English, kapag ang pronoun or subject na ginamit ay pronoun na I o ako, ang ginagamit ay was. I was going to the market. On the other hand, for were naman, we were going to the market. Were ang ginamit dahil ang subject ay we. Ngayon, alam natin na yan na ang gamit ng be verbs na was and were. Alright? Now, my dear learners, magtungo po tayo sa if I was. If I was. Pero tandaan nyo, itong if was, dito lang tayo magpo-focus, pero applicable dito yung iba pong pronoun na ginagamitan ng was, gaya na he was, she was, it was. Okay? Pero dito tayo magpo-focus sa if I was. Dahil kapag nag-focus tayo rito, masasagot yung mga tanong nyo rin kung bakit if I was, bakit if I were. Now, let's have this if I was a phrase. Bakit nga ba mayroon tayong phrase, what if I was? Una sa lahat, my dear learners, ginagamit po natin ang if I was kapag, eto na, if I was, you should use the phrase if I was when referring to something that actually happened. Ginagamit natin yung if I was na phrase kapag tumutukoy tayo sa isang bagay na nangyari talaga. Okay? Nangyari po talaga. Something that really happened in reality. Totoong nangyari. May posibilidad talagang nangyari o mangyayari pwede ngayon o nangyari na sa nakaraan o mangyayari sa hinaharap. Okay? Another thing, I was is used for things that could have happened in the past or now. Gaya nga ng sinabi ko, itong I was or if I was ay ginagamit natin sa mga pangyayari na maaaring mangyari. May posibilidad na mangyari o nangyari na sa nakaraan o nangyayari ngayon o mangyayari pa lang sa hinaharap. Alright. So, dahil nga, di ba, if I was, dahil mayroon po siyang if clause, if, ginamitan ng if, o kung itatanong niyo, Teacher Aubrey, ano po ba ang kahulugan ng if in Filipino? If po ay tumutukoy ito sa kondisyon. In Filipino, ang if ay tinatawag natin na kung. May kondisyon. Kung. Alright? If the situation has happened, the result will follow. So dahil ang if I was ay tumutukoy sa mga bagay na may posibilidad talagang mangyari o nangyari na sa nakaraan o nangyayari sa kasalukuyan, ibig sabihin may kasunod siyang clause na nagpapakita ng resulta o ng maaaring maging resulta. Anong mga halimbawa? Tingnan po natin itong mga halimbawa. We have the first example. I apologize if I wasn't clear. I apologize if I wasn't clear. All right? In that sentence, in that example, my dear learner, may posibilidad talaga na pwedeng hindi ka maging malinaw kapag may pinahayag ka. At pag nangyari yon, ang gagawin mo, hihingi ka ng tawad. So that is something that can really happen o may posibilidad talaga na mangyari. Another example is this. If he wasn't such a pain in the ass, we would take him along. If he wasn't such a pain in the ass, we would take him along. Or anong gustong iparating yan? If he wasn't such a pain in the ass. So, ang kahulugan yan ay parang kung hindi siya masakit sa ulo, kung hindi siya pabigat, isasama namin siya. Something like that. Another example is this. Good evening po sa lahat ng mga manonood. Another example is this. If I was good, why don't you select me? Kung okay naman ako, kung karapat-dapat naman ako at deserving, bakit hindi mo ako piliin? Alright? So yung mga examples na yan, kung mapapansin niyo, lahat sila ay maaaring mangyari. May posibilidad talaga na mangyari in real life. If I was po ang gagamitin. And as a general rule, my dear learners, ito po ang gagawin. May susundin tayong formula para bumuo po ng isang sentence na mayroong clause na if I was. Okay? So ito po yung formula. If I was, okay? If I was followed by an adjective o isang pang-uri, adjective, nagbibigay uri sa isang noun o sa isang pronoun, sa subject, plus present tense of the verb. Okay? And in the then clause or yung magiging resulta nung if clause na binanggit. Alright? So, dun sa mga examples na binigay po natin, ano yung mga example? Alright? Ang sabi natin kanina ay, if I apologize, I wasn't clear. I apologize if I wasn't clear. Another example na binigay natin ay, if he wasn't such a pain in the ass, we could take him along. All right? Another example is, if I was good, why don't you select me? So sa bawat example po na ibinigay ko sa inyo, my dear learners, lahat ng examples na yon ay totoo. Okay? O may posibilidad talagang mangyari sa tunay na buhay. At may kasunod sila na then clause. Ano yung then clause? Yun po yung nagpapakita ng resulta. Alright? Kapag nangyayari na talaga in real life, yung mga binanggit dun sa if clause. Okay? So, ano yun? Balikan natin yung mga halimbawa para mas maunawaan po natin. Sabi po, dun sa halimbawa na, if I wasn't clear, ako malinaw, okay? O pwedeng hindi talaga malinaw yung sinabi ko, yung pinahayag ko, kapag nangyari na gano'n, ang gagawin ko, so sorry ako, mag-apologize ako. Alright? So that's it. Another one is this. Same way, in the second sentence example I gave, he probably is a pain in the ass. So may posibilidad talaga na pwedeng pabigat siya o sakit siya sa ulo na kasama, at kapag ganun ang nangyari, hindi siya isasama dun sa lakad o sa gagawin nila. So ano napapansin nyo? May posibilidad talaga na mangyari. Okay? Another example, dun sa third example natin, the third ones, ay isang tanong yun, di ba? Tanong po yung example natin sa sentence number 3. Ano yung sinabi natin doon na, if I was good, why don't you select me? Kung okay naman ako, kung deserving naman ako at mahusay naman, magaling naman, bakit hindi mo ako piliin? So anong gustong ipakita natin? Pwede nating sabihin na if I was good, then select me. Kung gagawin yung statement, yung question form na yon. So, okay naman ako, edi piliin mo ako. Nakita niyo, after the if clause, pinakita kung ano yung magiging resulta o yung gagawin kapag nangyari na in reality yung mga possibilities na iyon. Okay? So kung marami na kayong natututunan, huwag kalimutan na mag-like sa ating video tonight. Okay, another thing pa, ginagamit po natin yung if I was na clause for real situations. Yun lang po ang bottom line. Ginagamit ng if I was na clause, okay, yung was na clause na yan, may was, kapag ang isang pangyayari ay real situation, okay, at nasa indicative mood. Indicative mood. Yung indicative mood na yan, mamaya malalaman nyo yung kabaliktaran yan kapag pinag-aralan natin yung if I were. Indicative mood, tumutukoy ito sa mga bagay na or mga pangyayari na maaari talagang mangyari sa tunay na buhay. Or things can really happen in real life. So yun po yung sinasabi at paliwanag kapag sinabi nating indicative mood. Alright? Another example, ayan, another examples. Let's have some more examples. Eto po tayo. Though this one, if she was feeling sick, it's good that she went home. Okay, anong paliwanag dyan? Bakit if she was? If she was feeling sick. So sabi dyan, it is really possible or probable. Pwede talagang magkatotoo na may sakit siya. Kaya if she was ang ginamit. Okay? Another is this one. If I was wrong, I am sorry. If I was wrong, I am sorry. So dito po, sa sentence natin na ito, I might have been wrong. So may posibilidad talaga na mali ako. Kaya kapag nangyari yon, ang gagawin ko, hihingi ako ng sorry, mag-apologize ako. Another example is this. Another example is this one. If I spoke to her, I don't remember. So ano po yung nais ipakahulugan niya na pwede talagang may posibilidad na kinausap ko siya. Pero kung kinausap ko man siya o hindi ko na naaalala. So that's it. Ayun po, at tandaan natin ang bottom line lang ng paggamit ng if I was or any singular subject na mayroong was. Okay? Na be verb, kapag po gumamit tayo ng if clause, ipinapakita lamang po na yun ay may posibilidad o mangyayari talaga in real life. Ngayon, tingnan ko nga po yung mga halimbawa ninyo. Eto, tingnan natin yung mga halimbawa. Babasahin ko yung mga examples ninyo from English Shera. Sabi niya, if she was feeling sick, it's good that she went home. All right. From the great Camilo, if I was wrong when I hurt you, do you do you think revenge will make it better? Ang ganda ng example. Thank you. Ano pa example? Sabi ni Yerel, sabi niya, if he was good, then he is in. All right. Okay, thank you. Another example from him. I was listening, then I learned. Okay, thank you so much. Ngayon, ituloy natin ang ating pag-aaral. Tapos na po tayo sa if I was. Ngayon, magtungo na tayo dito sa if I were. Ayan na nga, if I were na po tayo. Sa if I were, my dear learners, kung ang if I was ay ginagamit siya for situations that can really happen in real life, ang if I were naman ay kabaliktaran. Ito po. If I were, this phrase, we have to use this phrase when we are using the subjunctive mood. Ano po yung subjunctive mood? Ang subjunctive mood, hindi siya karaniwan at madalas na natatalakay kapag pinag-aaralan ang tenses of the verb or English grammar. Okay? Pero, hindi lang tayo aware na mayroon palang subjunctive mood, pero lagi pala natin itong nagagamit. Ano po? When we say subjunctive mood, it is used to talk about hypothetical situations or things that are contrary to fact. O kapag sinabi nating hypothetical situations, maaaring hinuha lamang o maaaring hindi siya totoo, maaaring theory lang, akala lang, no? Ganun po ang ibig sabihin ng hypothetical o mga bagay na pwedeng hindi naman talaga mangyari in reality. Alright? Another thing, I were is called the subjunctive mood. Na ipaliwanag ko na nga sa inyo yung subjunctive mood. And it is used when you're talking about something that is not true or when you wish something was true. Ayan. So, ginagamit din natin yung if I were. Ang bottom line ng paggamit ng if I were, my dear learners, ay kapag ang isang bagay ay hindi totoo. Pwedeng imagination lang, hindi totoo at hindi mangyayari sa tunay na buhay. O kapag yung pinag-uusapan sa pangungusap ay may hinihiling or nag-wish siya ng isang bagay na sana ay magkatotoo. Pero imposibleng magkatotoo. Alright? Ngayon, tingnan po natin. Let's have some more definition of if I were. If I were, it also indicates an unreal situation. Yun nga po ang gusto kong ipaunawa. Ang if I were po ay tumutukoy siya sa mga sitwasyon na hindi totoo. Something that can never happen. Bagay na imposible mangyari sa tunay na buhay. You are imagining a situation o kapag yung pangyayari ay nasa imahinasyon lang at imposibleng maging totoo sa tunay na buhay, that isn't true yet or cannot be true. O hindi maaaring mangyari. O kapag nagwi-wish ka. Alright? Another thing, if I were is also used when you are wishing for something. Kapag wini-wish mo na mangyari yung isang bagay, if I were din po ang ginagamit. Anong example? Ito yung halimbawa natin. If I were taller, I would play basketball. If I were taller, I would play basketball. So nagpapakita yan na humihiling yung nagsasalita. Okay? Yung subject na nagsasalita sa pangungusap, ini-imagine niya yung isang hypothetical situation na paano kaya kung matangkad siya? Paano kaya kung mas matangkad siya sa height niya ngayon? Ano? Na imposible nang mangyari kasi maedad na siya, matanda na siya. Okay? So, nandun yung tinatawag natin nga, ini-imagine niya yung hypothetical situation. Nagwi-wish siya, which is something that is impossible to happen dahil adult na siya. Pero ini-imagine niya yung sarili niya na nasa ganoon siyang sitwasyon. Kapag ganyan po, if I were ang gagamitin. Let's have some more examples. More examples are this. We have, if I were invisible. O diba? Imposibleng mangyari. Wala namang tao na kayang maging invisible. If I were invisible, I would steal a lot of chocolates from the supermarket. Pero gusto kong ipaunawa sa inyo na hindi lang po ginagamit yung were kapag po ang subject ay I. Pwede rin sa iba pong singular subjects tulad ng she, he, it, okay? She, he, it. Or any singular subject po. So, pwedeng sabihin if I were invisible o kaya naman if he were invisible, if she were invisible, if it were invisible, were po ang ginagamit. Alright? Were pa rin kahit singular subject. So, dito sa halimbawa natin, if I were invisible, I would steal a lot of chocolates from the supermarket. Wow, ang sarap naman nun. Free lahat ng chocolates mo. Pero masama yun ha, kapag nanakaw. Okay, so that's it. Another example is, if I were Bill Gates, I would be the richest person in the world. So nandyan po yung hypothetical situation. Nandyan yung sitwasyon na napaka-imposibleng mangyari. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman pwedeng maging ako si Bill Gates dahil ako si Teacher Aubrey. So nakikita nyo yung sitwasyon kung saan natin ginagamit yung were, if I were clause. Okay? Kung magiging ako si Bill Gates, edi ako na ang magiging pinakamayamang tao sa buong mundo. Nakikita po ninyo? Ayan, tama. May nag-comment na, if I were a boy, parang yung kanta raw, if I were alam niyo yung kanta na yun? Okay, yun siya, pero huwag ko na ituloy. Makaumulan. Another example is this. If I were wrong, I would correct my mistakes. Okay? If I were wrong, I would correct my mistakes. So ito, sa example na to, may possibility siyang mangyari, pero hindi pa nangyayari. Okay? So if I were wrong, I would correct my mistakes. Okay, so let's have some more examples. Some more examples. But I want you to, before we proceed to some more examples, I want you to remember this, that we are using if I were clause for hypothetical situations. Tandaan po natin yan. O sa mga wish, kapag nag-wish yung subject sa pangusap, o kaya naman, ang tandaan lang posible mangyari in real life. Ganun po siya. And in general, ito po yung formula na ginagamit natin. Ginagamitan po natin siya ng formula na if I were, followed by the noun, followed by the would clause. If I were, anong sabi natin kanina sa example? If I were invisible, I would steal. Okay? I would steal a lot of chocolates. Okay? If I were Bill Gates, I would be the richest person in the world. If I were wrong, I would correct my mistakes. Okay? And now, let's move on to some more examples. At mamaya, babasahin ko na yung mga sagot ninyo. Okay. So, more examples are these. We have, if I were rich. Sinabi kong, if I were rich, di ba? So, anong gusto kong ipakahulugan? Hindi naman talaga ako mayaman, pero ini-imagine ko lang, okay, that I am imagining what I would do if I were, okay? Wait, i-correct ko lang to, may kulang po dito. Okay, so if I were rich, I am not rich, but I am imagining what I would do if I were. So, pwede pong gamitin nyo yung if I were kapag ini-imagine nyo yung mangyayari kapag nangyari sa inyo yung isang sitwasyon. Okay? If I were po ang gagamitin. Another example is this. If I were you, I would study harder. Kung ako ikaw, mag-aaral ako ng mabuti. Pero anong pinakita rito? I were ang ginamit dahil imposible namang maging ako, ikaw. Diba? Kasi ako to at ikaw yan. That is an impossible thing to happen. It is impossible for me to become you. Okay? Another example is this. If he were a woman, ayan, ginamitan na dito ng ibang subject bukod sa I. He ang ginamit. Pero were po ang ginamit natin ditong be verb sa if clause na to dahil tumutukoy tayo sa isang pangyayari na imposibleng maganap. Anong sabi? If he were a woman. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin he was. Kasi po, hindi pwedeng gamitin ang he was dahil imposibleng mangyari in reality. Anong sabi rito? If he were a woman, he would have lots of babies. Imposibleng mangyari yan. Okay? Dahil hindi siya babae, siya ay isang lalaki. Imposibleng magkaanak ang isang lalaki. So ngayon, eto, dito tayo. Let's have some writing practice. Sige po. Ang gagawin nyo lang, ganito kasimple ha. Babasahin ko, ifo-flash ko yung mga sagot ninyo. Dito papasok sa activity natin na ito, yung imagination ninyo. Okay? Ang gagawin nyo lang, how would you complete these sentences? Kukumplituhin nyo yung mga pangungusap, leave your answers in the comments area or in the live chat box if you're watching this video live or kapag natapos na yung live stream, ilagay po ninyo yung mga sagot ninyo sa ating comments section sa ibaba. Okay, so the first one, if I were rich, I would. Sige nga, pakidugtungan. If I were rich, I would. Ano ang gagawin ninyo? Kung kayo ay mayaman, ano ang gagawin ninyo? Sige nga, babasahin ko yung mga sagot ninyo. Ito, from Araceli. Kapag sumagot kayo as much as possible, subukan natin complete sentences para mas maganda, ha? Sige. Ipa-flash ko yung mga complete sentences. From Araceli, I'll just notice her comment. If I were listening, the advices I were listening from the advices of my parents, I would be a professional now. Yes, tama po yan. Take note lang sa proper capitalization ng I. Okay? Another. Okay. Ito, sabi ko, ipo-flash ko po yung mga complete sentences, ha? Paki-complete ng sentences. From Cristela Cassandra, if I were rich, I would travel around the world. Good job. Nakalimutan mo lang yung tuldok sa hulihan. Paki-kompleto. Another, if I were talented, I would not get shy around many people. Maganda yan, no? Kung ikaw ay talentado, hindi ka mahihiya sa harap ng maraming tao o kapag nakapaligid sa iyo ang maraming tao. Pero, baguhin mo yung kaisipan mong yan. Lahat tayo, mayroon tayong itinatagong talento. Baka nahihiya ka lang, kaya hindi mo mailabas yung talento na meron ka. Ayan, tama naman itong sa mo, Pearl Mochi. Ang gusto ko lang ipaunawa sa'yo, yung proper capitalization sa sentences and proper punctuation marks. At ang word na I, lagi yung sinusulat gamit ang malaking titik. Okay? Okay, another example, this one. From, ang daming sagot, nakakatuwa. From Teacher Janet, if I were rich, I would buy all my favorite food. Wow, ang sarap. Okay, another from her. Okay, tapos na yan. If I were rich, from Jaime, I would give donations to the charity. Magandang bagay yan, ano? From Marisa, if I were rich, I would buy my own house. Okay, good job, pero pakiulit po, itama natin yung capitalization and punctuation marks. Another, from Yen Urel, if I were rich, I would travel the world. Wow, yan din yung pangarap ko kung mayaman ako. From Cristela Cassandra, if I were rich, I would build business. Then I will employ a lot of people who need a job. So that's the proper one. If I were rich, I would build business. Then I will employ, will followed by a verb in base form. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin will employ, walang ed. A lot of people who needed a job or who need a job. Who, kasi people, tumutukoy ka sa tao. So ang gagamitin mo ay who. Okay? So ayan, maraming gusto, no? Kapag yumaman talaga, magta-travel sa buong daigdig. If I were rich, I would travel the world in style. Wow, ano kayang in style yon? From the Great Canilo, if I were rich, I would go to 7 planets. Wow, good luck! Another, if I were rich, I would share my blessings to people, as many as I could. Wow. Thank you, Vidju. From Mateo Do, if I were rich, I would help poor countries. Wow. Sana lahat tayo yumaman, ano? Ang dami nating magagandang magagawa. Alright, so sa'yo, Mateo Do, yung proper capitalization ng word na I. Ayan, etong si Hot Pops yan nag-request ng topic na to. Hello, if I were good in English, grammar, I would follow like Teacher Aubrey. Okay, so ang kuna ko lang dito sa'yo, Hot Popsy, after mo ng if I were good in English, kapag po, after ng if clause, lalagyan nyo ng comma. Tsaka nyo isusunod yung I would na clause, yung would clause. Okay? Another, ito pa from Franz Clark. If I were rich, I would help poor people. Yan, good job. Yung proper capitalization lang po, i-apply po natin. Ayan, ako. Ito pa, from VidU. Sorry. Law of attraction. Sorry. Napindot ko lang. Sabi ni VidU, if I were talented, I would perhaps join a lot of competitions inside and outside the country. Wow, di ba? Ayan, sabi ni Ursula Cassandra, sana yumaman ang lahat. Yes, law of attraction. Yes, samahan lang po ng pagsisikap, pagtitiwala sa sarili, at syempre, panalangin sa Panginoong Diyos. Ayan, pagsama-sama yan, tatagumpayin po tayo. Ayan, so ang dami nyo ng mga kasagutan. Another one na kukumpituhin nyo ay ito. If I were the president of my country, I would. Kung ako ang Pangulo o Presidente ng bansa ko dito sa Pilipinas, I would. Ano ang gagawin ninyo? Sige nga. Sige, ilagay po ako. If I were the president of my country, I would stop the corruption. Diba? Talamakang corruption eh, no? So, kung good leader ka, maganda na papangunahan mo yon, lalo na sa bansa natin, no? Okay. Okay, ito, from the Great Canelo, may nabasa na ako sa, if I were the president of my country, yun po na, if I were the president of my country, I will allow face-to-face classes. Naku, sigurado ka ba dyan sa sinasabi mo, no? Pero kung yan yung opinion mo, wala namang masama kung yan yung opinion mo. Pero ako kasi bilang teacher, siguro dito sa amin, sa lugar namin, hindi pa. Depende siguro sa lugar. Dito kasi sa Bulacan, marami pang infected, so I won't allow. Another, thank you, Great Canelo. Another from Cristela, if I were a good speaker, I would join Binibining Pilipinas. Ayan, iba yung sa kanya. Pero sige, that's correct naman. If I were a good speaker. Ang kukumplituhin po natin, if I were the president of my country. Okay? If I were the president of my country, I would never act as one. Ikaw talaga, VidU? Okay. Ang ganda nitong sinabi ni Great Canelo, if I were the president of my country, I will support the technologies or the technology. Okay, thank you. Another from bagong estudyante to, si Jays Acelador. If I were the president of my country, I would perform what my people really deserve. Wow, ang lalim mo na. Ang ganda ng sinabi niya. Tama. Di ba? Because once na mahalal tayo bilang Pangulo ng kahit ng anong organisasyon, we are serving the people. It's not about us. When you will become a leader, it's not about yourself. It's not about the fame, the power. It's about your people. It's about prioritizing your people on what they want or on what they need. Hindi lang basta yung gusto nila, pero dun sa makakabuti para sa kanila. Alright, parang beauty pageant. Pero yun lang naman yung view ko tungkol sa bagay na yon. Another from Mekman, if I were the president of my country, I would increase the salary of the frontliners. Wow, tama. Pakidamay na ng mga teachers, ha? So, ayan o, tama. Lalo sa panahon ngayon, grabe yung sakripisyo ng ating frontliners. Ang ganda, no? Gaganda ng mga kaisipan niyo. Thank you. I really appreciate your participation. Another from Teacher Janet of English Area YouTube channel. If I were the president of my country, I would implement better policies for the health system of my country. Yes, tama po. Teacher Janet, yan ang kailangan natin sa panahon ngayon. From Yen, if I were the president of our country, I will allow not using of face shield. Wow. Bakit? Hindi ka makahinga? Mahirap na. Mahirap gamitin ang face shield, parang nakaka-suffocate, pero actually kailangan natin yan para mas safe, no? Okay, thank you, Yen. Another from Emily. If I were the president of the country, I would help the less privileged people. Wow, good job. So ayan na nga, thank you po sa mga sagot ninyo. Hindi ko na mababasa lahat, pero mababasa yan ng ating YouTube online community of learners. Let's move on to the next one. If I were a bird, I would. Kung kayo po ay magiging ibon, ano ang gagawin ninyo? Sige nga, subukan natin kumpletuhin yan. If I were a bird, I would, I would fly high to reach the skies. Okay, kayo, ano sagot ninyo? If I were a bird, I would go from one place to another without any hassle in transportation. Kayo. Okay, eto, from Great Canelo. If I were a bird, I would fly the whole world. Ayan, good job. Pero lagyan ng tuldok sa hulihan. Okay, I forgot the dot again. Yes, nalimutan mo. Another from Mateo Do. If I were a bird, I would sing. Wow, parang ibong adar. Nalagyan ng tuldok ha. From Voluntas PH, if I were a bird, I would fly to the outer space. He, he, he. Good luck, ha? Sana makahinga ka pa kung ibon ka at magpa-fly ka sa outer space. Okay, next, from Cristela. If I were a bird, I would see all the continents of the world. Yes, di ba? Kasi ang ibon, free ka makalipad kahit saan makikita mo ang Earth. Another, from Noel J. If I were a bird, I would travel all over the world. Siyempre, yun yung talagang magagawa mo kung ibon ka. If I were a bird, I would make a flock of birds flying in our favorite countries. Wow! Very, friendly ka. Pag naging ibon ka, isasama mo yung mga barkada at kaibigan mong ibon. Okay, so another is this. Eto, nagjo-joke si Vidju. If I were a bird, I would rather be a songbird like Regine Velasquez Alcacid. Woohoo! Okay. Thank you. Another from Marisa. If I were a bird, I would fly all over the world without hesitations. From Juvie Madriaga, if I were a bird, I would touch the sky. Ayan. Maganda yung example, pero huwag kalimutan yung proper capitalization and punctuation marks. From Emily, if I were a bird, I would fly to reach the star. Okay. So, ayan na nga. Thank you sa mga examples ninyo. Tapos na tayo dyan. At ito yung huli ko kumplituhin ninyo. Maganda to ha. If I were young again, I would. Kapag babalik ako sa kabataan ko, I would. Ano yung gagawin ninyo? Ako siguro, if I were young again, I would play and play and play and enjoy my childhood so that when I grow up, mababalikan ko lang yung mga happy memories. No? Di ba? Ang sarap nun eh. Kapag bata ka, yung panay laro lang, walang wala kang problema. So kayo, kung babalik kayo sa pagkabata, o huwag natin sabihin batang-bata. Siguro sabihin natin kung kayo ay adult na, babalik kayo sa teenage years ninyo. Ano yung gagawin ninyo? Sige nga. Ayan. Sabi ni Great Canelo, if I were young again, I would act like I would practice basketball. Siyempre, siguro ngayong may edad na, baka marupok na ang buto, hindi na kayang tumakbo at hirap na, madaling hingalin kapag magbabasketball. Ano? Another, if I were young, from Vidju, I would act like Megan Yang. Nice. If I were young again, I would take down all those bullies of mine. May paghihigante, si Cristela. Pagpasuggest mo na lang sila, ha? Okay, next, remind me, if I were young again, I would correct all of the embarrassing mistakes that I have made. Pero alam nyo, kapag binalikan nyo yung mga bagay na naging dahilan kung ba't napahiya tayo, kung bakit tayo pinagtawanan ng iba, minsan kahit ako, for me ha, well, wala namang mali dyan sa opinion mo or sa opinion ninyo. Pero kung ako babalik ako sa bagay sa nakaraan, sa mga nangyari sa nakaraan, siguro may pagsisisi. Pero kung babaguhin ko, baka I would rather choose na wag na lang silang baguhin. Kasi bakit? Kasi natuto naman ako sa kanila eh. For as long as kahit hindi maganda yung nangyari sa nakaraan, pero natuto ka, that is what really matters most. Yun yung pinakamahalaga doon, yung natuto tayo. Okay? So thank you, Jaime. Another from Giovanni. If I were a bird, I would fly to go back to my province. Oh, yung ganda, no? Lalo ngayon may mga community quarantines, magandang gamitin yung power na yan. So eto pa. From Yen, if I were young again, I would still love to play outside with my friends rather than playing gadgets. Yes. Ayan, sa panahon ko kasi, sa panahon natin, ng mga kaedaran ko, nung bata kasi tayo, wala pa naman gasinong gadgets eh, no? Siguro sana yun yung mai-apply sa mga kabataan ngayon, na mas mayroong physical interaction, mas nagkakaroon sila ng pagpapahalaga sa interpersonal relationship nila sa kapwa nila, sa mga kalaro nila. No, maganda yan. Another from Marisa, if I were young again, I would correct all of my mistakes in life. Yes, pero okay lang yan, wala namang perfect. Ang mahalaga, natututo tayo. From Jay's Asalador, if I were young again, I would not let a day be passed without laughing. Dahil sa panahon ngayon, bihira na lang tayong nakakangiti. Ayan. Oo, tama, no? Pero alam niyo po, nasa atin pa rin kung pipiliin nating maging masaya. Dahil sa buhay, may tinatawag tayong 90-10 principle. 90%, yun po yung lahat ng bagay na nangyayari sa paligid natin na hindi natin makokontrol. Pero yung natitirang 10%, yun yung bagay na kaya nating kontrolin. Yun yung emosyon natin. Yun yung kung paano tayo magre-react sa mga nangyayari sa paligid natin. Alright? From Macman, if I were young again, I would choose my dream course. Oh, ano ba ang dream course mo? Maraming ganyan, no? Pero dahil kulang siguro sa pera, hindi masuportahan ng magulang, hindi mapag-aral, nag-sort sila doon sa second choice na course nila. Ako actually, I think being a teacher is a calling. Kasi ako before, if I were young again, kung papipiliin ba ako, ititake ko ba yung broadcasting na course? Siguro, hindi na lang din. I think teaching is really a calling for me. Kasi ang gusto ko talaga noon, mapanood ang sarili ko sa TV, maging broadcaster, pero hindi siya nangyari. Siguro it's really a calling na maging teacher ako. Kaya nandito ako ngayon. From De una, if I were young again, I would like to experience the moment being a child. Yes, tama naman. Pero tapusin mo yan gamit ang tuldok. Eto, tatapusin ko sa pamagitan ng example ni Vidju. If I were young again, I would think it's impossible. Yes, yun ang punto natin. Ginagamit natin ng if I were sa mga statements na imposibleng mangyari. Okay? So yun po ang bottom line, kaya natin siya ginagamit. Ngayon naman, let's have our quiz time. Ilalagay niyo po ang inyong mga sagot sa ating live chat box. Ang gagawin niyo lang po ay simpleng-simple. Decide if the following sentence need was or were. Tandaan niyo, ginagamit po natin ang was kapag po yung statement ay indicative mood. Nasa indicative mood o maaari talagang mangyari. Maaaring nangyari sa nakaraan, pwedeng mangyari sa kasalukuyan o mangyari sa hinaharap. Ginagamit naman natin ang were or if I were clause or any singular subject with were kapag po yung atin pong tense or yung atin pong pangungusap or statement ay nasa subjunctive mood. Ano po yung subjunctive mood? Yun po yung mga sitwasyon na hypothetical o kapag nagwi-wish yung speaker or subject sa sentence o yung mga bagay na imposibleng mangyari. Okay, ngayon, i-analyze natin ang mga pangungusap at ilagay po ang tamang sagot sa ating live chat box. Okay, so are you ready? Let's begin. Number 1. If I blank invisible, I would walk into pop concerts for free. What's the correct answer? If I blank invisible, I would walk into pop concerts for free. Okay, so the correct answer, the first correct answer came from Vidju, from Voluntas, from Cristela, from Yenurel, and from Mekman. So the correct answer for number 1 is were. Kaya naman ang magiging sagot ay ganito. If I were invisible, I would walk into pop concerts for free. Okay. Kung ako ay magiging invisible, sigurado pupunta ako sa mga pop concerts ng libre kasi hindi naman ako makikita. Alright, so that's an impossible thing to happen. Another one, number 2. If I blank rude to you, then I am sorry. If I blank rude to you, then I am sorry. What's the correct answer? Okay, so the first correct answer came from Vidju, the Great Canelo, from Voluntas, from Cristela, from Yen, from the Great Canelo, and from Mateo Do. So for number 2, ang tamang sagot po ay sa number 2 ay was. Okay? So it will be, if I was rude to you, then I am sorry. Bakit po was ang ginamit? Dahil pwedeng nangyari na to dati, pwedeng mangyari ngayon, o pwedeng mangyari sa hinaharap na may posibilidad talaga na baka itrato kita ng hindi maganda. At kapag nangyari yun, anong gagawin ko? Magsasorry ako sa'yo, hihingi ako ng tawad. Alright? So that's for number 2. Let's move on to number 3. For number 3, if I blank a politician, I would do everything I could to help the people. If I blank a politician, I would do everything I could to help the people. What's the answer? So the first correct answer came from the great Canelo, followed by Cristela Cassandra, from Mateo Do, from Yan Urel, from Voluntas, and from Noel J, and from Mekman. So baka nalito kayo rito. Alam ko marami magkakamali dito eh. Balikan natin yung pangungusap. Balikan natin. Sabi sa pangungusap, if I blank a politician, I would do everything I could help to people. So pinapakita rito sa pangungusap na ito na pwede talaga itong mangyari in real life, di ba? Pero anong gustong i-imply ng pangungusap na ito? Pinapahati ng pangungusap na yung speaker, yung nagsasalita sa pangungusap, ay nagkaroon siya ng hypothetical imagination, nagkaroon siya ng imagination na pwede nga namang mangyari. So, pinapakita na rito na parang nag-wish siya. Alright? So, pinapakita rito yung sitwasyon na maaari ngang mangyari sa hinaharap, pero hindi pa siya nangyayari. Okay? Pinapakita rito na ini-imagine niya yung maaaring mangyari. Gaya ng example natin kanina, di ba? If I were tall, I would be a good basketball player. So it has some, parang magkaugnay sila. Okay? Kaya ang sagot sa number 3 ay were. It will be, if I were a politician, I would do everything I could to help the people. Okay, that's for number 3. Now, for number 4, if he blank present during the incident, he can put a strong case. If he blank the present during the incident, he can put a strong case. What's the correct answer for that? For number 4. The first correct answer came from Vidju. Ayan, bumawi ka kahit nagkamali. From Mekman, from the great Canelo, Cristela, from Noel, from Mateo, from Margere. Hello Margere, kumusta? From Marjorie, marami pa eh. Kay Lovely, hindi ko lang mabasa yung iba, ang dami. From Emily. So, ang tamang sagot sa number 4 ay was. Okay, bakit po? Kasi may posibilidad talaga na mangyari o nangyari sa nakaraan. Pwedeng mangyari na nandun talaga siya sa sitwasyon at kung nandun talaga siya sa insidente, magiging malakas ang laban doon sa kaso. That's it for number 4. If he was present during the incident, he can put a strong case. All right? Now, let's move on to the last one. For number 5, if I blank you, I would not take the bus. If I blank you, I would not take the bus. What's the correct answer? The first correct answer came from... Ayan, the first correct answer for number 5 came from Vidju, from Great Canelo, Kev, from Michelle, from Mekman, from Vilma. Okay, ayan, tama yung mga sagot ninyo. From Joey, Chris Mabel, hello, from Anthony. Ayan, so for number 5, the correct answer is were. Okay, were po. Were po. Okay, so balikan natin. Magiging, if I were you, I would not take the bus. If I were you, I would not take the bus. Bakit po were ang ginamit dito? Kasi imposible namang maging ako, ikaw. Okay? Imposibleng maging ako, ikaw. Dahil ikaw yan at ito ako. So that's an impossible thing to happen. Kaya if I were, ang ginamit natin. So those are the correct answers. Balikan natin isa-isa. For number one, we have, if I were invisible, I would walk into pop concerts for free. For number two, if I was rude to you, then I am sorry. Mhm. Number three, if I were a politician, I would do everything I could to help the people. Number four, if he was present during the incident, he can put a strong case. And number five, if I were you, I would not take the bus. Okay! Sige nga po, ilagay ninyo ang scores ninyo sa ating live chat box. Marami bang naka-perfect? Marami bang naka-perfect? Alright. Ayan na nga. And once again, ang hiling ko sa lahat, kung marami kayong natutunan, huwag kalimutan na i-like ang atin pong video tonight, ang ating live. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share, comment, subscribe, and of course, click the notification bell para po lagi kayong updated every time I will go live. At tomorrow po, magkita-kita ulit tayo sa atin pong live lesson. The same time tomorrow. And again, hinihiling ko po sa lahat na paki-follow and support nyo ako sa akin pong mga other social media platforms. Ano-ano yan? Ito po. Huwag kalimutan na i-follow ako sa akin pong Instagram at Aubrey with 5-letter H _ Bray. Also follow me on my TikTok at aubreybermudez. Don't forget to like and follow my Facebook page, Learn English with Teacher Aubrey. Don't forget to subscribe also to my second channel in which I do vlogs together with my family. It is Aubrey and Family Lifestyle TV. At bago po nga tapusin ang atin pong pag-aaral tonight, let me motivate you with this quotation from Roald Dahl. He is the writer of Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. Sabi niya, you'll never get anywhere. Hindi ka raw makakarating sa gusto mong marating o kahit saan man if you go about what ifing like that. Again, you will never get anywhere if you go about what ifing like that. So ano dyan ang sinasabi? Kapag daw puro tayo if, kapag puro tayo kung, o anong nais iparating nung what ifing, na 'di ba minsan sa buhay natin dumarating tayo sa pagkakataon na kapag may susubukan tayo, lagi natin sasabihin sa sarili natin, paano kung ganito? Paano kung ganito? Paano kung ganito? 'Di ba? Sa kapagtanong natin ng ganyan sa sarili natin, nahahadlangan tayo para sumubok ng mga bagong bagay. 'Di ba? Nahahadlangan tayo para gawin yung ganitong bagay kasi laging yung kondisyon na ganito yung nasa isip natin. Paano kapag ginawa ko 'to baka magkamali ako? Paano kung susubukan ko ito, baka mapahiya lang ako? Paano kung sasabihin ko to, tatanggapin niya kaya o hindi, 'di ba? Sa pamamagitan ng puro tanong natin sa sarili natin na paano kung, ano mangyayari kung ginawa ko to? Pero bakit hindi natin alisin sa isip natin 'yun at gawin na lang natin, 'di ba? Mas magsisisi tayo kapag hindi natin sinubukan ng isang bagay. At hindi tayo makakarating sa kung saan man tayo tutungo kung lagi tayong pahahadlang sa kung ano kung ganito o paano kung ganito. So let's be bold, let's be brave for as long as wala tayong nasasaktan o naaapakan. Let's just do the things that can make us happy. So again, from Roald Dahl, you'll never get anywhere if you go about what ifing and something like that. So I hope na na-motivate kayo dyan. And lastly, huwag kalimutan nga na i-like, i-share ang video na ito, mag-comment din, mag-subscribe, at i-click ang notification bell. Thank you so much, my dear learners. I hope na marami kayong natutunan at bukas muli tayo ay magkita-kita for another live lesson. God bless you all. Always stay safe, stay happy, stay sanitized, stay prayerful, lalo na sa panahon ngayon. And have a good night. Bye!